Hello! In case you're considering to drive the Trans Euro Trail TET in Hungary, this video might give you some hints on what to expect and see, and maybe the one or the other mistake I made to avoid. I went to Hungary at the end of September 2025. I took my Peugeot Boxer, in which I had 3 bikes, 2 of mine, one for a friend who joined me later flying to Budapest. The bikes I had with me, the BMW G450 X, Husqvarna 701, and the 250 Husky 4-stroke of my friend. As long as I was alone, Peugeot was my home. I slept at campgrounds, like the first one here at the Balaton, and then made day trips on nearby TET trails. Usually I took half of the day the TET, then using my Garmin navigation, to say I use a Tread 2, which most of the time works nicely, as it's supposed to, but not always. I took this Garmin navigation to get back over alternative off-road tracks back to the campground. Dry most of the time. Still mild temperatures during daytime, and during the nighttime it got as cold as 5 degrees Celsius. Campgrounds were pretty empty, and it was the end of the season, and many campgrounds closed at the end of September until next spring. It was my first time coming to Hungary with a bike. The prejudice I had early on were that Hungary is flat, Hungary is somewhat boring, and terrain-wise, and it is too hot. All of that is wrong. And as you can see here in the coverage, there are many hilly areas, plenty of trees, which could also make it wonderful to travel in summer, and a very scenic landscape that makes you to stop and enjoy. And the people, simply great. The TET Hungary is great to gain off-road experience. Not as rough as in other higher regions of the Balkans. I did not come across rocky terrain like Bosnia or Croatia. Usually the tracks go through woods or through dirt roads between the fields. All people were very biker-friendly. Rarely any passageways that were prohibited by travel, fortunately. Plenty of gas stations, card payment usually possible. The TET track in Hungary is utmost reliable and up to date. So just by following it, you usually don't get in trouble. Using my Garmin navigation was rather an adventure. The tracks it suggested are still and really possible. Sometimes it seemed to be accessing cards or maps that were outdated, not really up to date. The hilly areas around Pesh are very scenic. Nearby is the Kelet-Meshek landscape protection area, but also the Danube-Drava National Park. It's in hitting distance. Both places simply beautiful. My tip for the nearby campground, camping. The app Camp 4 Night has a rating and it gives 4.96 out of 5 stars possible. And I can confirm this. Carsten, a German that moved for good reasons to this beautiful area, is the owner and manager of this place. And everything is spot on. simply perfect. Very well maintained, very good conditions. I had nothing to complain about. Nothing. Unfortunately, it closes on the 30th of September for the season. Southern Hungary, from the town of Baja, the Danube River towards Szeged, near the Romanian and Serbian border, is more flat and sandy, dominated by agricultural land, and the tracks are often between the fields. I was very lucky that it was almost dry. It was certainly not slippery, not soaked, and very few puddles. So I really went down very rarely, only on a wet meadow. Basically, it handled me once just fine. So Hungary has also a great tradition of spas and hot springs, with many being spread all over the country. The skin of Mother Earth is pretty thin in this part of Europe. There is even a thermal lake. Lake Hevix is the largest biologically active natural thermal lake in the world. This is near the southwestern part of Lake Balaton. I stayed in Rakeve, which is southwest of Budapest, at a thermal campground. They had nice spa facilities inside and outside, and the outside ones, they were free of charge to be used by the campground guests. So to speak, part of the package deal.
Mega.
When I was in Rakeve thermal camping, I tried to drive the TET circle around Budapest. The fact that I did not start early enough, and secondly that I lost precious time waiting for almost an hour at the Danube ferry prevented me from doing the full circle. That was a pity. As after 2/3 of the tour, I had to basically quit and drive back to my camp because the sun was already rising.
Boden gegangen. Scheißendreck hier.
But I strongly recommend to take more time or even do it in time of the year when the days are longer, but you do have more. Or just split it in half. Do it in over 2 days. That would be probably best. All in all, I should have taken more time for Hungary. I should have come earlier in the year, and I should have traveled more of the country. So I need to and will consequentially come back in the near future. If you go to Hungary, have fun. Take care. Bye bye.